Hello. One day I'm going to do a video for you when I'm fully dressed and my hair's good. But until then, there's a couple of things have occurred to me that I wanted to talk about. The first one is about communication with other people. Typically, that's a tricky thing for people with autism and Asperger's. Well, Asperger's as autism. And I just wanted to say that I have found the asynchronous communication methods to be so useful for me. So usually when I was growing up, you were talking to somebody either face to face or you were on the phone. You could write to people, but that, you know, as a young person, that didn't really happen much for me. So a phone call for people that you weren't actually seeing was standard, and now it's not. Now it's normal to text people, message people, that kind of thing. And I met somebody last month who was frustrated with this and was saying, oh, why doesn't she just call me? And I realised that actually I much prefer asynchronous communication, and by that I mean so instead of a phone call, you're on the phone to me at 6 p.m. and I'm on the phone to you at 6 p.m. It's exactly the same time we're communicating. Whereas the asynchronous thing is where you want to talk to me at 6 p.m. so you send me a message saying, hi, how are you? And I can then look at that at 6 p.m. when I see it, get it. Or if I'm busy, or if I don't feel like talking right now, I can just leave it. And then at 6:30 or at 8 p.m. I can then reply and say, hi, I'm great, how are you? And I really, really like that asynchronous thing, because not only does it mean that I don't have to talk to you right now. You know, if you walked up to me and you said, hi, and I just walked away, said, I don't want to talk right now, I just walked away, that would be really, really rude, right? If you called me and I said, I can't talk right now, I don't want to talk, that would be rude. But if you text me and I just don't respond, that's okay. So it's a really, really good way of communicating. And I said this on a Facebook page the other day to somebody who is struggling with friendships. This really works for me. I've maintained a couple of friendships. One of them is entirely online. I've never met her and I probably never will. She lives in the US. And I talk to her almost every day. And sometimes we'll chat back and forth as if we're in the same room. Chat, 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 chat. And then there'll be long periods where she'll just keep talking to me and I won't respond. Either because I've gone off and done something else, or because I'm just like, you know, don't want to talk right now. And she's absolutely fine with that. And I'm the same. Sometimes I'll witter away to her and sometimes she's responding and sometimes she isn't. And it's absolutely brilliant. And I know a lot of people would say, oh, that's not really a friendship. You know, you don't actually meet each other, you don't speak to each other, it's not really a friendship. Well, I would say it is. It really is a very close friendship. And I think it's a real option for people who don't want to have the pressure of a phone call. I do still speak to people on the phone, but I don't like it. I worked on the phone for, I don't know, 5 years, maybe more, where my work was answering the phone to people. Obviously within a work framework, a set number of things they might be asking me, and I knew how to answer them. So that was really, really simple. It's not like social communication where you've got to work out how much to respond and how much feeling to put into your voice and what to say next and how long to leave a gap and all that stuff. None of that. It's business, so you know exactly what you're doing. But if people call me, I don't particularly enjoy talking on the phone. I'd much rather talk asynchronously. Are you like that? Is that the same for you? So that's one thing on my mind. The other thing is my assessment is next week. It is currently Sunday and I am being assessed on Thursday. And for me, it's kind of like, you know, when you've got Christmas coming up and it's like, oh, it's 5 days to Christmas, it's 6 days to Christmas, whatever. That's where it is for me. And everything is kind of before the assessment or after the assessment. And that's just so weird, because it's not that big of a deal. You know, nothing's going to change. The rest of the world is not going to change at all because I've had an assessment. But it feels like everything in my world will change, one way or another. And I'm just thinking right now about how I'm going to behave and the answers I'm going to give, because I've got this horrible feeling that I'm going to be going in there trying to convince them of something, Whereas in fact what I really need to do is to go in there and be myself. Now that's not necessarily easy, because I have spent the last 25 years filtering and censoring myself, and being careful of every word I say to make sure that I am doing the right thing for whatever situation I'm in, professional, social, whatever. So I've got to go into this room and I've got to try not to do that. But I've also got to try, I think I'm wobbling the camera, sorry. I've also got to try not to convince them. I firmly believe that I am autistic, and I do not want to walk out of that office with them saying, no, sorry, can't diagnose you with that. So I'm worried that I'm going to go into there thinking, right, how do I prove that I'm autistic? And if they ask me a question, instead of filtering it in the usual way, to filter it in the way of what's going to make me sound the most autistic. So, do you think I might be overthinking this? Yeah, okay. It's what I do. But I am concerned at this point that I am going to go in there with an agenda, and that's going to alter how I respond. So I've got to try doubly hard to just be myself. It's not that easy. Anyway, those are my thoughts for today. Might have some more later. Thanks for watching.